under the treasurer's report,
You do also need a motion for the 12th meeting.
yeah, you could do them at the same time if you want.
I'll make a motion to accept Thursday, May 12th minutes as presented, and Tuesday's May 3rd. This is Thursday, May 12th. With the change of the treasurer's report to April 2025.
I make a motion. I'll second.
Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Payment of the bills.
April has to do a great job. Everything's on order, really nice, and check everything over, and it's just so easy to follow, and I really appreciate it. And everything looked wonderful, so I'll make a motion to do it.
I'll second.
Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Then under correspondence, we have, the Lapeer County EMS report, and we had 26 EMS calls and 9 in the village. And then you also have the zoning administrator's report. So now we'll get the treasurer's report.
I don't have anything more to add to it. All we have there is pretty solid foundation, so. I'll make a motion to accept the treasurer's report.
I'll second.
Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The zoning administrator report is on here, so you have that. And then we have,
Officers responded to 327 calls for service. They conducted 84 traffic stops. For the month of those traffic stops, 12 citations were issued in orders for various traffic violations. We had 10 traffic crashes for the month. 6 of those were property damage and 4 were personal injury. The department's still searching for applicants for our one full-time position that we have open, and then a couple of part-time positions that we have open. Our Motorola video equipment is in the final stages of being installed. We've got most of that stuff up and going right now, and so far I'm quite pleased with it. It's been a serious upgrade in both technology and usability, so it's been great. Officers responded to 26 medical calls last month, and then assisted on 2 firearms with the fire department. Our local Memorial Day parade that we assist in and do traffic for every year turned out great. From a logistic perspective, everything went well, good, safe environment, and I just want to thank everyone that has a hand in putting that on every year. Spence Kent does a lot for that, and it's a nice local tradition. We have a nice ceremony, so I appreciate everything everybody does to make that happen. On May 28th, we had our training for firearms. All members of the department received training in those areas with all department firearms and method requirements that the state of Michigan sets forth. So got one of those out of the way. We typically will probably revisit that a couple of times through the year, though. With summer months approaching, we, as always, continue to focus a little more on traffic as things pick up. Kids that are out of school, people are walking, biking, horseback, different things like that within the township. So that's most of what I have for the month, other than the agenda items.
okay, thank you. Move on to the fire report.
For the month of May, we had 39 calls, 31 medical and 8 fire. They ranged anywhere from 2 medical alarms, 25 ambulance calls, 1 DOS, 1 motorist assist, 1 odor investigation, 1 personal injury accident, 1 suicidal person, 1 traffic offense, and 3 wires down. Training for the month of May. On May 3rd, we did driver's training rodeo. We had 95% participation with 4 excused. On May 5th, we had airway and ventilation. We had 100% attendance with 7 excused. On May 8th, we did pump training with 90% in attendance, 7 excused. On May 15th, we did fire scene size up with 95% participation, 7 excused. Events for the month of May, we ordered duplicate copies of forms that we use to do both medical and fire reports. Trace Analytics confirmed that our Cascade system would pass all required tests after the maintenance that we had done on it. We want to thank Ralph, Matt, and Jackie for doing medical coverage for the track meet at the high school. The fire department floors were cleaned and waxed on May 30th. We ordered new rugs for Station 1, and we purchased additional MFR supplies due to inventory. Keith Theobald still waiting for approval from his PCP to go get his effective June 2nd. That's already on the agenda. Andrew Knox put in his resignation due to work schedule conflicts. The county made the system went into effect June 2nd. The county made the system the cards that Central Dispatch has. So when we're dispatched to different incidents, it's predetermined what other departments we get from mutual aid and what pieces of apparatus we get from that department. June 12th, we have draft training. June 19th, we have water shuttle training. July 10th is our general meeting and hose hockey with multiple departments. Means we'll have neighboring departments come participate in that as well.
Where are you doing that?
By the elementary school, like we usually do, in the parking lot.
Later in the evening?
Yeah. Our training starts at 6:30, so if anybody wants to stop by.
Fun watch.
July 17th is car fighters training. July 19th, we're doing our open house for the year during Fall Fest, or Food Days, between 11 and 4, and there'll be a parade starting at 10 o'clock.
Thank you. We will move on to the police department taser instructor training.
So Morgan Thompson is a department's taser instructor. Every 2 years, that certification runs out. So in order for her to be a instructor for our department members as users of those devices, we have to send her off to get that training from Axon. The price on that is set at $895. They're tough to get into, so you have to date and location that you want to attend. So we purchased the voucher. There's a couple of them coming up, and we'll probably pick the closest one. So just requesting that we get approval to send her off and pay the
far away that she has to get a hotel room and stuff?
Hopefully not.
Okay.
It'll depend on which one we can get her into, where it'll fall. You know, we try to schedule that where it doesn't create overtime. It's tough when you're on a 12-hour shift rotation, so.
Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Manzel's been with us nearly 3 years part-time. He was in Southfield previously. He came to us to Macomb County Medical Examiner's office as well. And he's got a lot of family plans coming up, different things like that, and just found it difficult to do everything. He's still working for the medical examiner's office in Macomb. So he decided retirement from Lewisburg, so and resignation. So and he worked his last day of May 25th. So
Can we have a motion to accept Walter Menzel's resignation, I guess, as of May 26th?
I'll make a motion
I'll second it.
to accept his resignation. Sorry to see him go.
Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Then we have the fire department resignation. Yeah.
Andrew Knox on June 2nd turned in his letter of resignation. He took promotions at both of his jobs and no longer has time to dedicate to the fire department for now. He hopes to come back in the future, so.
I'll make a motion to accept Andrew Knox's resignation from the fire department as of June 2nd.
Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Then we have the Boom Days fireworks. Because of, they were anticipating that the drain work might be going on.
Boom Days is taking place at the Fall Fest
Yeah, so they're gonna do the fireworks then.
in downtown.
Yeah.
I'll make a
Motion?
yes. They're asking for more on this, but this is a great family event and,
More themselves, the village did.
No, they used to have sponsors and stuff, and it just, the village pays for a lot of the stuff down there, so they had asked us if we'd go in half on the fireworks. So. Oh, did you finish your motion? Okay. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next we have, our township hall cleaners have told us that their last day will be the end of the month, and we found someone that's going to, but we will change to having her clean every other week, because our offices just do not get that dirty, and we can pick up here and there. You know, if somebody comes in with muddy boots or something, just clean it up.
I'll make a motion to hire every other time, yeah, every other week.
And I'll second it.
Is it more money in the long run, or is it less money, or is it the same, or?
Well, she's, we told her if it takes her longer to let us know, but we said 3 to 4 hours it should take her. And, that's based on what the other people were making too for cleaning the hall, except that we're just gonna have her do it less often. So if it works out where it's taking her more, we can adjust it at that time. I think, but I don't think she'll have a
We
problem.
end up cleaning up around here anyways, if there's something crazy that we end up cleaning up, and we dump our own garbage all into one garbage and.
So right now we're paying
Yeah.
someone every week, so she'll be doing every other week.
Right. What I was getting at, like the monthly cost, is it the same basically, or is it less, is it more, is it?
Less, half the
Okay, well,
amount.
that's what I just wanted to
But
get
then
that
I
out,
figure-
get that out there.
Yeah.
Just wanna get that out there, right, so everybody hears it.
Yeah.
I make sure it's
We're
clear.
saving money.
You can explain it to me like I'm a fifth grader.
The only thing is I'm looking to maybe have, if the Boy Scouts or Scouts dollars, and they can do it in their troop, however they wanna do it, don't really care.
Right.
But, it would probably be good, cause I every other month or something, I don't know.
Is it still as bad as it once was? The stuff?
It depends on the day.
How full they are and.
How much overflow there is,
Yeah.
maybe?
Yes,
In the windy days,
and all the blows and back there.
and how
Right.
full they are. Oh, it's-
How much?
Cause we ended up
That's all
getting,
the way
we ended
over
up getting
there.
an extra bin, didn't we, because that was the problem before, right, they were
Yeah.
always overflowing,
Yeah.
right, 'cause it just was too much.
So there were six bins out there for your recycled items, and then 2 bins for paper. Because paper didn't really get
Right.
utilized very often, so we put it all together. So
Right.
it's nice that we have
Yeah.
the 8, except the other day I went out there and there's, somebody's got their chair and whatever, garbage is out there, so I put up some notices,
Right,
so.
had to be done in the past, right?
It's crazy that people leave their garbage out there, it's very, win for everybody. We have fall cleanup days, it's like save your crap, put it in a pile and bring it up in the day.
Okay, did we approve that motion?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. EMC insurance, it went up some, not a ton, I can't remember the percentage, but it was lower than I expected it to be, I guess. If any of you guys, your car insurance, my homeowners has gone up way
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
So, and the attorney did point out a couple things on here, page 2, or page 3, I should say. About 4 down, it says emergency services volunteer fire excluded. And the reason for that is because it is, it's covered under workman's comp if they're in a car and they get injured, and that's better anyway, so. And then the other question was, a couple down, it says, medical expense per person, unlimited coverage for medical expenses is excluded for the following person, and no one's excluded because no one's listed, so. So we just have to approve the insurance fees. I don't have the last year's in front of me, the amount, but
I think it went up like 7,000, actually, something like that, but we also made some adjustments. And, so then we upped the value in the fire trucks. think that's what it was.
Yeah, it was, Jeff was at our meeting, we were talking about it, cause those, to buy a car, you know, like buying a car these days, buying a fire truck is the same way, it's 40 to 50% more than it was 5-6 years ago. That's else.
He's told us that almost every time that they did.
I know, but the numbers still didn't show
Yeah.
the amount that it should be, and that was the hard part.
He's very informed and someone.
Oh, yeah, he's,
I'll make a motion to accept AMC insurance, at $52,492.
I'll second.
is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The next item is the fireworks application. I don't want this. That's my response. This is from Scott Baker at 4117 Lake George. He's gonna have his display on June 21st or June 28th at dusk. The only thing I could see on here is he doesn't talk about where he's storing them, and then the insurance.
So I spoke with Daryl. Do you wanna?
In
speak on this?
past years, it's been the same company that does the one for bouquets. We usually go out there late afternoon, the day they do them, and do a walk around the fireworks and make sure they have all their safety equipment and everything, and then they're good to go after that.
So it sounds
I
like
don't
the
know what
same.
he's doing this year, because there's nothing on here.
Yeah.
You still need to provide us the documentation of insurance.
It's the homeowner that's maintaining it.
Well, I think we could do a conditional approval based on, that he provide the insurance to April.
I think we've done that in the past.
Yeah.
We do that in the past, so.
Well, yeah, we don't have another meeting, so. Does somebody want to make that motion with the conditional approval?
I'll make a motion to, do his fireworks, but he has to prove that he has insurance. Insure April.
And.
For the 21st or the 28th. That's
And-
depending on the weather, is that why? I'm assuming.
And with the approval from the fire department.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Do you still do any notifications to work people in the area? Or is that not an issue for this one?
We do. We probably will.
Yeah, where's this at?
That would be
Big George.
just south of Dryden Road.
South, okay.
On the,
Yeah, we're safe,
It's southeast of Dryden Road.
okay.
so I think we used to go half a mile in each direction and do letters. Have you done that yet?
I have not for second.
Okay. Maybe we'll show you. So we have a motion by Carol English. Was it supported?
I'll second.
Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next, we have the election voter cards, and I'll let April talk about that.
So I'm not sure if, most people don't even realize the districts, every area is numbered, and right now we're District 24, this has happened before where it's changed. And so we were notified that the district number was changing, and because of that, I have to send every single resident a new voter ID card. So that's, right now, we're at 42, a little over 4,200 people. So purchasing, printing, taking the time to do it, and then at 59 cents a postcard, I'm just asking that we let PSI do the cards, and it's a cost savings because they're charging us 38, I believe I think it's like 38 cents a postcard. postage. So I'm asking for $3,000. It's coming in less, but just in case there's something extra, there's more people on the list.
How do you think this is gonna work?
Concerned and call us, and talking with the other clerks, you know, most people don't even know that they're a certain number, their district, so they're gonna be questioning that, so we'll probably put something out on social media, maybe on the website, just to let people know it's not to be alarmed, it's just something that happens from time to time, so.
Really voting a lot, no, I didn't get anything in there, I didn't get
Right,
anything.
right,
We mailed one to everybody, I didn't get it.
right,
So-
so.
It looks like most of the districts, I mean, all the old 24 districts now are gonna be 23 districts, the 23rd district, so.
She said this is a result of a lawsuit that happened when they redistricted us.
Really? I'll make a motion for them to go ahead and let printing systems make out the money cards and post it.
I second it.
Is there any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
I feel bad for everything that you've gone through in this whole election, all the changes and it's crazy.
I'm laughing, I said, how much would we save if she did it by hand?
You pay more money.
Yeah.
Those mailing companies, I don't know how that works, but they pay a lot less.
Hi, I'm Leslie Knitter. I think I talked to the chief and Tina. I think I've emailed you. It's regarding the explosive. We're neighbors, and we're just trying to ask for some help. It was dynamite last year. I think one of the deputies actually caught them and gave them a warning. Well, now we're being told that by the police that it could be tanzanite or sheenite. But how do you know what it is if you don't see them? These two homeowners, one lives in Oakland County, one lives in Dryden. The Oakland County one has subsided because he owns a construction business, and I think he's very concerned that they keep blowing it up. It's an average of 3 times a week. Marianne owns a horse farm.
Yeah,
The
we talked
horses-
previously about the horses and the concern of them. I have had the horses, and we live, I'm not right next to them. I'm quite a ways away, and these horses just blast out. I've also had, one time, one of your officers brought my dog home, who's never left home, but in a frantic running down the street. I've been sitting on my couch at night. It is so loud that it literally, I would feel really sorry for anybody who had PTSD because it puts me through the roof.
What is your name?
Marianne Holloman Hutchins. I'm at 5860 Havens.
That's south of, like Casey Road?
Yes.
Right by Copley
It's
Hill.
right by Coke.
Okay.
Right across the street from Copley Hill. And I'm surprised you haven't heard anything from Copley Hill.
Give us what you wanna tell us.
Is there anything you can do? We were told that there's an ordinance for sound, so now what they're doing is they're letting them right at 8 o'clock, for noise. It's gonna keep going on. We're gonna keep calling the police. Anything the township can do,
How often do they do this?
at least 3 times a week. And then repeatedly, I think sometimes they wait to see if the police come, and then, if they come, they'll stop, and then they wait till they leave and they'll light them again.
I think your officer has told me that they go and stop there and then they hear them take off on their vehicle. vehicles, they're,
ATVs or their,
yeah.
Yeah, the only thing I can tell you is if they're doing something illegal, it will address it. You know, it's, if they're intentionally trying to do it and we're not there, that makes it hard too. But it doesn't mean that it won't be impossible for us to enforce something if they're violating a state law or ordinance. So, noise ordinance situation, there's, you know, it would be dependent on the time of day and different things like that. But like we've spoken before, we have and we will be out there, and so I can assure you, each time we're there, things are documented. So if it continues, it'll be addressed.
Well, if they're required for fireworks to notify the area, what is the difference between this type of explosive and fireworks?
we shake the house.
It depends on what they're using. I mean, I don't know that. So,
Well, what is the lady officer, is it April, or what's her first name? She actually caught them last year, lighting, she walked up to the house and saw them, and that was dynamite, and I think she gave them a warning.
yeah, I don't know the facts on that.
Can that be looked into? It's gonna cause some, commotion in the community. There's several of us that are very upset about it. We continue to call and it's not being addressed. Is there something?
Well, I would disagree with you that it's not being addressed. We responded.
No, I don't mean that you're not responding. I fully support all the responses.
Well, we have to have facts and we have to have evidence to support a crime if one has occurred or a violation of an ordinance.
Again, we have
So
fireworks going off that you
that's
have
what we
an
need.
ordinance for. Can that fall under those guidelines? I mean, it's the same amount of, in fact, even more noise than the fireworks.
Yeah. It depends on. Fireworks are illegal.
But they have to apply for a permit.
Not necessarily.
So these go off all day
Commercial
long,
fireworks
all
apply
different
for
times of
permit.
day.
So we need to define what they're doing. Who is responsible for defining what product they're using? I understand, because I've looked at some of this up,
Calculating what they're using, I guess. You can stop into my office anytime. I'd be more than happy to discuss it.
But that's not gonna solve the problem.
But
This
you've
is
not
the
stopped.
second
You've
summer.
not stopped. Other than I've spoken to you once on the phone.
Mhm.
this has continued over.
This happened last summer
years.
though, we talked last summer too,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
emailed Tina several times.
We'll do.
We appreciate that you come. Your officers have always been very polite and very responsive. The one even brought my dog home, which I was really appreciative. But we'd like to know, is there an avenue that we can address here to resolve this problem other than saying we can only do our best?
Well-
Certainly, there are ways to, respectfully go in this community to develop some type of ordinance or something that we're just gonna continue to blind. He will continue to do this. I
He
have
will.
not confronted him, but my understanding is he is somewhat antagonistic. Even your officers have said that.
And I'm scared, I'm literally scared that he's gonna blow up, I mean, what is he blowing up? What if he starts blowing up houses, starts blowing up his barn, starts blowing up the animals? We live on the watershed, the swans, the deer, our horses.
Well, I think at this point, this is a police matter, and I don't know that Sean's had calls 3 times a week so he will look into this.
No, if it's happening 3 times a week, then it's not being called in.
I'm calling.
Because we have not had 3 calls a week.
You can look at the log, I know Marion called,
I
I know
have
Bill
called, but
called.
it's irrespectful of how many times he does it, it doesn't matter. He does it
Right.
consistently and he does it repeatedly. Is there any legal avenue that we have to address this other than to say we're just gonna go over there? Because it's not resolving the problem. The problem continues, and it continues to cause a lot of problems in the community. It does cause problems with my horses and my animals. I have sport horses. They compete nationally. I've had them go through fences. Does it have to get to a point where we're having neighbors battling with each other? Is there some legality we can have here? This is not minor.
Right.
You live next to this, I guarantee you,
You would not be.
you would not be happy.
Well, we have to prove that what he's doing is illegal.
So I've audio taped it, will that help? What will help you to think to know?
Like I said, I'm not gonna discuss it in public time at a meeting back and forth, but if you wanna come in and speak to me in person, or I will come to your home. A lot of the things that you've talked about, I'm unaware of. We haven't gotten 3 calls a week on this. We've maybe gotten 3 calls.
Again, it's irrelevant how many calls they're making.
But we have to determine what he's doing is illegal.
So how do we,
Well, I think right now we've heard what you're saying, and Sean's gonna address that at this point, so I don't think there's anything more we could cover in this meeting that would.
I think I'd like to know what is legal and what is illegal, because apparently that's not being addressed. I have looked it up, I can't really define that, Google is not exactly specific.
Well, you'll have to have a discussion with Sean, because I don't know what that,
But we were told to possibly come to the township board to bring this up.
And to bring it to the township
So-
attorney to see.
Going to talk to Sean, I appreciate it, but what can we do other than you having your officers sit out there and, wasting time? But maybe it'll stop them. What other avenues are there? I was told that we could do an ordinance or something.
we're not at that point. We have to determine, like Sean says, what they are actually doing. And when you come to a public meeting and speak during public time, you address the board. We don't have to respond, we usually go back and do homework a lot of times, but I know he knows about this, so he's responding to you somewhat. But he has to maybe get into the details more and discuss it with you, because like I said, 3 times a week, that's the first time we both heard of this, so. And what we really want people to do is stuff like that, you have to call and make the complaint when it's happening.
We do.
We do, and
So-
we have repeatedly done
I
that.
understand, but
That's
I'm
why
saying
we're here
Sean
now.
is, or I should say Chief is telling you that he will meet with you and talk to you more in depth about it and go down that road at this point.
Okay. We can accept that, but if it continues to go no further than there, we're here at the township because we have repeatedly called the police and told them what's going on, and it can't seem to go further.
Well,
I would just urge you to call when there to determine what's happening.
But we've been doing that.
Yeah, and I
for
called last
over a
week,
year.
and I think you said you didn't even have a report.
And I
And
called last
we
week
both
too.
called that day.
I called last week.
Anytime, I can gather documentation when you call. I mean, if it went through central dispatch, we can do that.
Yeah. We'll come next meeting.
Yeah, because I would truly like to know what the next step is. I said it's very disruptive.
okay, is there anyone else for public time? I'll adjourn the meeting then, thank you.